Hello, good morning, and welcome to episode 35 of Nebula Quest. I am Noden, your host, as always. So many cool things happening. Oh, look at how pretty that looks. Oh, dude, that's so pretty. I like it so much. But things are happening. I should do it this way. This episode of Nebula Quest is brought to you by Happy Audio. Okay, take two. This episode of Nebula Quest is brought to you by Happy Audioland. And it is! So, what has happened? So, I have talked recently about a number of cool things that are going to be happening in the Happy Audioland department, and they have all happened at once, like, in a day. So, the one that we all know about a little bit better. Let's stop and refuel here. There we go. Let's just do it nice and slow. Here we go. That's close enough. So the one that we've all heard about, and we can maybe do this. Maybe, hopefully. Oh, we do it? There we go. Is I've put the radio into my car. So the radio is in my car. If I remember to, I will take a picture. If I don't, sorry, but it's in there. It's cool. It's all nice, big, flat touchscreen fanciness. I mean, it doesn't really sound any better. I mean, I'm still using stock speakers. Like, I'm not using anything fancy. Like, it's not like I'm not running an amp or a subwoofer. You know, I'm not gonna be going down the road going. It's not gonna be like that. It's just there. But I've got Bluetooth to it. Everything's working amazing. It sounds great. The video works. Like, it's just everything you could ask for and more. And it looks like, it doesn't look stock, but it looks clean. I think one of the problems with it, like, it's just like these on the Yaris, the whole center console is very silver, so it's like silver, black, silver, and it's just kind of, it doesn't look stock, but it looks good. It looks clean. It actually makes the dash look really sparse. Like, I didn't think that there was that many buttons and junk on the old radio, but there was just enough there that it kind of made things look a little less, like a little bit more, like, busy. So now it just looks way too clean and way too empty. It's weird. On that note, though, of Happy Audioland, there is one niggle that I just kind of tested and discovered today with it, is that the microphone supplied with this thing is the most junk piece of crap microphone I think I've ever owned. Like, you remember back a million years ago when you got your first microphone that went with your computer? And maybe you don't, maybe you had one or you didn't, but it was like one of those like little stands that had a little tiny boom on it, and it had this little, like that, but it had like a big fat sort of like microphone on the end of the little boom there, and you just sort of talked into it, and it sounded like you were a million miles away and underwater in space. That is what this microphone sounds like. It is just a hunk of junk. So I think, luckily, like the receiver just uses like a standard microphone port, so I can just use just like a standard microphone, and I can replace that at some point. But I don't know what I'm going to replace it with yet. One of the big issues I'm having is that I'm so used to like better quality microphones now, that and powered microphones, that I'm like, I don't know, like I've got like some lav mics like kicking around, but they all require like batteries, and I'm not like electrical engineer enough to like build a thing that will take car battery and make it into lavalier battery. So I don't know, we'll have to figure out something for that. How are we doing for fuel? Okay, we're doing alright. Let's do a dubstep scanner. See that? We can just sit and chat for a couple of minutes. Nothing new. We can just head on our way.
Disengaged.
Thank you. And everything's grand. I do have an orbit, though. Oh, look at that. How about that, guys? We found something. I didn't even look. So yeah, so that's there. I'm very happy with it. I went for a little drive yesterday, and I was like playing my music. It's weird because I've used like just like my iPhone like headphones while in the car, which is I think technically illegal here in Ontario, but yeah, whatever. hands-free, guys, hands-free. It's hands-free. If they ever fought me on it, I'd be like, hey, I was just using the hands-free thing on my phone, man. I'm like, we can't all afford fancy Bluetooth. It's all right. And they'd go, ha, 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 here's your fine. But yeah, so I'm got that done. But it's been a long time since I've sort of like listened to like music or anything sort of just like in the car, and it sounded really good. Like I was like, oh, this really works, you know. This is really nice. I can see why people put radios in their car. And then I'm like driving along, I'm like, wow, you know, maybe I could just upgrade the speakers a little bit because you know they're kind of nice, but sound kind of like crap. And the problem is I think I've stepped over that line now in the like audiophile department, where I wouldn't say that I'm an audiophile, but I've stepped over that line where regular like stock shit is good enough for me anymore, where I'm like, I would be happier if there was a better quality thing in here. And I think I've just crossed that line. And so I was like listening to the car, I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good. I'm like, but it could sound better. So I'm like, well, you know, that's maybe down the line we'll look at an amp and some speakers. But I mean, that's a huge ass job, and I've got no real interest in tackling it. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, I mean, and let's be honest, it's a 2007 Toyota Yaris. I mean, we're not like, you know, like nobody's expecting like it to sound like you're actually in like somewhere listening to the Philharmonic Orchestra playing I don't know, electronic music, because that's what they do. But yeah, so I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do about that whole issue yet. We're going. That's much farther away than I thought it was. Let's run a doubly. As we expected. Good. Oh, so the other part of Happy Audio Land that we have, we've found ourselves in is that, and I think I mentioned this, that I was looking at picking up some audio, like some studio audio monitors, mixing monitors, and I have, and they are now installed, and everything's working great, so they can run through my M Audio, what is this called, M-Track 2, so they go out from that, so I get beautiful sound coming from them. Nice flat. I've got them balanced really well for my desk here, and it sounds fucking amazing in here now. Right now I'm using my Audio Technica monitoring headphones, but that's because I'm using the mic. So, and then the nice thing is that one of my biggest issues I've had like with my setup forever is that whenever I wanted to record or something like that, I would always, because I've always used I haven't always used, but I've often used USB mics, or USB headset. Like I have the, what is that thing called? Is it still in here? Yes, it is. There we go. The Logitech G35, I believe is what these are. Yes, they are. So that's sort of my, the first microphone that I was using. Like, it was the first headset that I bought specifically because it had like a quote-unquote better quality mic on it, because I wanted a better quality mic for recording, and so we did that, and it was within my price range at the time, and so on and so forth. But which is also very important information to disclose. But is it just me, or does that seem like to be getting farther away and not closer? Let's have a space coffee while we contemplate just the vast distances of space. Fuck, it's really big, isn't it? So, yeah, so it's always been sort of USB audio. So whenever I wanted to use it, I always had to either switch my audio device. Actually, that's more recent now that I figured out how to do that. But it was one of those pain in the asses where, like, if I plugged in, like, the G35s, like, it wouldn't, if I was in a game, it would never just, like, switch over. Like, if you plugged in a microphone, like an actual microphone, where it would just switch over. It pain in the ass, so you'd have to like restart the game, and you'd have to recognize the new audio device, and then it would, it'd be fine. So more recently, with the Yeti that I've had, which I still have not sent to Pat, it'll get there. Eventually we'll get it sent off. And now with the M Audio, it's always plugged in, it's always on. It's just I switch between. I've just been switching between the speakers and my headset and whatnot via the audio device selector menu thing, which is still a, outside of. It allowed me to do it more often inside of a game, not every time inside of a game, but more often inside of a game, which I thought was strange, but it worked more often, but it was never super smooth. Now, all my audio is going through the M track, so I never have to switch my devices. All I need to do is roll a couple of knobs, and everything I switch between the speakers and the headset and the microphone, I can adjust everything where I want it, and I don't have to worry about anything anymore, and it's fantastic. I think I should be able to use the speakers and the mic at the same time instead of using the headset. I don't know if that works or not. I'm worried about feedback loops. So I'll probably do a test on that later. I think it should work. I mean, they are monitors, but it's somewhere in between where I think of back in the day when I was in a rock band, and when I was a rock and roll singer, and we'd have a monitor in front of the microphone, and then I could listen to what the music was going on, but I don't know what that did. I don't know how those worked. I don't know how it all works, man. It's just there, and I just use it, and it's fantastic. But that's all I got. So this is far away. But yeah, so that's sort of well, maybe I never need to use the headset and the headphones, and then I can, I can scram these headphones off, and I can use them with my phone when I want to listen to music and on the go or something. But we'll see how it goes. At the moment, I think we're just going to keep rocking with the... I will say, actually, no, I'm pretty sure, because I know the microphone picks up the speakers. I've seen it pick up the speakers. So I think we'll just continue using the headset, because we are not brave people. But, like I said, I'll do a test later on it. Regardless, it sounds great. It might lack just a little bit of bass. So I'm using... KRK Rocket 6s. So they got a 6-inch little woofery thing with a bass port thing and tweeters on top and powered. They're lovely. There's part of me that's well, maybe I should get they've got sort of a little subwoofer. If I can get a little woofer, I might do that. But just because it's a little bit too flat in the bass, it seems. I don't know if I'm losing some bass in the room, which is the other issue. One of the things I love about these speakers, and one of the reasons I got them... No. Okay, let's... Shit. No, it's still a thing. Okay, good. Oh, that really freaked me out there for a second. I just got an email or something. Oh, I just lost it. Oh, I looked down and I lost it. Shit. Slow down. Over there. Okay. Yep. I'm coming. What do you want? Okay, that's fine. Friends tweeting me stuff. But it's a private message, so you'll never know what it was. But yeah, so anyways, the point is I'm still very happy with it. Playing music and things going through, and more importantly, because they lack any color or anything like that. So when I do a mix on a video or anything like that, it's going to be what I hear is what it actually is, and that's the point. Is that I've used my headphones for a while, but I've always wanted to check things. I always like to check things through the speakers, because that's how most people listen to things as well. And just make sure everything kind of sounds balanced and whatnot. And sometimes you just don't want to have a headset on all day, and that's that big truth, man. My head. Do you guys have I have a problem with headphones, and hats, and not baseball hats, not so much, but certainly like toques or beanies or whatever you call them. I have a problem with my head gets really itchy pretty quickly. like, so if I wear my headset, like, for a few hours in a day, like, that right underneath the band there gets so itchy. And I just can't stand it anymore. So it's one of those, like, that's why I'm always, like, having to switch between devices, because I can't stand having headphones on that long. Plus, it's nice to just relax and, like, watch YouTube without headset. Like, it's nice to have good speakers, or if you're watching a movie or something like that. Actually, it's another thing that I'm waiting to come in, is I've got a small mixing board coming in. Oh man, I tell you, this place is getting, we're doing shit up right now. But that's going to allow me to take all of my audio sources, so it'll be the TV, like coming from the, or anything I got running through the TV. So whether it's I've got a, what are those things called? They're called Apple TV. So it could be like the Apple TV, it could be the PlayStation 4, the PS4. That's the only things that are working on the TV at any point in time. It could be coming from the computer. I can mix everything down. It's got it's just gonna be great. So I can use the new speakers, which are great for all of my audio sources, and then everything will sound fantastic, and I will be an audio happy land man. Yes, but that's it. So let's talk for a whole episode about Happy Audio Land. Happy Audio Land. Which is not my term. That term comes from somebody else. That comes from Accidental Broadcast. You can check him up at youtube.com/accidentalbroadcast, who pioneered the whole concept of Happy Audio Land. For a different thing, but it's all him. Oh, it's good. It's good space coffee there, you know. Oh, what is that? Ooh, there's something gross on my desk. And I touched it, and I don't know why I did that. Oh, also, and because I've talked about this, I believe, on this media source, I got another package in the mail just today, and it is one part of that joke that I was alluding to at some point. My Kevlar, my ballistic grade Kevlar, has arrived, and that... Oh, what is this? Piece of paper I need. Man, this is like the worst packaging job I've ever seen in my life. It's so gross. It looks like somebody just grabbed a bunch of paper, wrapped it around a thing, and then just taped the living daylights out of it. It's like, it reminds me of I'm sure many families do this, but certainly our family has always kind of had a thing where... Okay, let me just double check that's our guy. It is very much our guy. Where, like, one person in the family is just... And in this case, it's my sister. These days, it used to be me, but now it's my sister. Will, like, just super wrap, like, a gift for a couple of people. So it'll be like... once upon a time, like, we used to do, like, you know, there'd be like 18 layers of wrapping paper. It would be like wrapped, an object would be wrapped like 18 times, and just obscene things. Or like we had like a CD or something like that, I think I got for my sister, and it was like wrapped a few times, like in a few boxes, but like in the center of like a refrigerator box, which was also wrapped. So and that's what it kind of reminds me of. Like, there was just so much tape. It was like the whole thing was taped. And the reason I think of that is that I got a pocket knife from my grandfather at some point when I was much younger. And, horrible knife. It's gone. But nice thought. Because I do like my knives. My knives. But he did that to me, and which was really strange. Like, it was never really him. He was never really in on the joke, but somehow he got in on the joke, and he just, like, took everything up to, like, 14 on them. And, like, it was, like, duct tape. Like, there would be, like, a layer of wrapping paper, and then you'd take off the wrapping paper, and there'd be just, like, duct tape. And then you'd take off that layer of duct tape, and then it would be wrapped 3 times, and then you get through that wrapping, and there would be a layer of duct tape. Like, it was like a half an hour job getting into this knife. And the best part is that you spend all this time, like, ripping through this going, oh god, I wish I had a fucking knife. And then you open it up, it's like, oh, it's a knife. It's like the best, funniest, like, so ironic, Grandpa. Like, way to go. So, it was kind of the whole thing. Shit, this is far away. Is this the farthest we've gone now? Like, I thought the last one at like 237 or whatever it was, light seconds was like 237,000 light seconds was far. Like, this is that much farther? I mean, and they're like, the other one was like a brown dwarf. I mean, it was a bigger brown dwarf, but it was like a brown dwarf. I mean, this is, or was it a red dwarf? Oh, red dwarf. It says so right there. It was a red dwarf. And this would probably be a brown dwarf. But regardless, I mean, this is fucking far apart for something for two things that are such low mass. It's tripping me out, man. It's tripping me out. I need to, so I got a cheat sheet here. I will, behind the scenes of Nebula Quest, we have a cheat sheet. On this cheat sheet, I have the names of all the planets of the solar system with their relative size in kilometers and miles. But not their distances. And I really need to get a cheat sheet for light seconds, like a light second cheat sheet. I'll just write it on here as well, but just so I get like some reference points, like, you know, like here to Jupiter is X, like, or from the Sun to Jupiter is X light seconds. Okay, we're coming up on this pretty quick here now. I want to put this into the Goldilocks zone of the throttle area, not of the planetary formation zone. Alright, let's do our dubstep, because we will now select this thing. Okay, I'll slow it right down. Thank you. And let me peer into your big brown dwarf eye. Wow, it's like I can kind of see the line behind it, and it's bugging me. Yep, big brown dwarf. Well, not big, but it's a brown dwarf. All right. Well, yeah, yes. So that took all fucking episode between the 5 minutes we spent fueling and the basically 17 minutes that we were flying towards this thing. Jesus Christ, it's so big. It is so big. So we're gonna wrap up the episode here, and we will come back and see you guys next time. But until then, from Happy Audio Land, ciao, I love you. Good night.